All right, y'all. As a few of you all know, I am sick as a dog. So I'll try to make this as lovely and as quick as possible because I might have to run to that room behind me there. Uh, um, Came to my attention that the Second Amendment is under attack. In the state of Virginia, a Democrat. I'm going to say it again. A Democrat has come to power in the legislature and is pushing anti-gun bills. This we cannot abide. If any state falls, so does the Union. Remember those words because it's important. Someday you might be saying it to yourself. If any state falls, so does the Union. Well, here we are. Think about that. You might end up at that point. Now, I was saying months ago, years ago, in fact, that this was coming. I was saying, hey, folks, go ahead. You go ahead and you talk how much you don't want me to have guns, but I'm going to turn around and I'm going to tell you, you're not going to have guns if you don't treat it like I do. Fight back with everything you got. And when I say everything you got, I mean don't go shooting cops or going after law enforcement or feds or government officials. Just show force. Show your ability of force. Not asking for action has never been something that I'm always about. I don't want people to get out there and be violent. I want you to point out to the government that this is a particular right. Whether it's air guns, whether it's firearms, whether it's pepper spray, whether it's a fucking mason ball chain with a handle attached and a freaking knight suit of armor and a broadsword on your hip. I don't care. What I care is that you're out there showing that you have the ability of force. And the reason for that is very simple. Those of you who own and operate and have firearms, you already know this, so you can go ahead and never mind if you want. However, you might learn something from this, so pay attention maybe. Those who do not exercise their rights are doomed to lose them. Now, I heard this when I was a young man and I said, well, what do you mean those who do not exercise their rights are doomed to lose them? Well, little did I know. If you don't get up and you go and do your jury duty, you're going to lose your right to have a vote. You could still vote. They'll let you cast your ballot, but your ballot doesn't count. If you didn't know that, now you do. And that's why most Republicans' votes don't count, is because we don't like jury duty, and a lot of us will do just about anything to get out of it. Republicans, conservatives, independents, even liberals try to get out of jury duty, but they don't really care because they're protected. It's insulting to the actual way that our country's supposed to run. Now, you know what the responsibility that goes with the Second Amendment is? There's three of them. Three responsibilities that you must adhere to in order to have a Second Amendment right. Three responsibilities. 1, provide for the common defense. 2, defend the Commonwealth. And they're pretty much the same thing. 3, resist all borders, foreign and domestic. Now, borders back in the day meant enemies. Anybody who was interested in causing you harm or threatening you. Borders relates to the boarding party during Admiralty law. Okay? If you ever have stood inside of a courtroom, you know what Admiralty law is about because you are asked to stay behind a certain section, which looks like the railing of a ship. There's a reason behind that. It's symbolism. It's all symbolism. Imagine for a second, I'm sick of the symbolism because it's a load of utter bullshit. In all reality, the Second Amendment is something that unless you utilize every ability to your disposal in order to keep that right, you are going to lose it one way or another. Whether you're charged with a felony or you're charged with the Baker 5150 psychoses or, whatever. Patriot Act. It doesn't matter what you're charged with. They will find a way. Because right now they are taking down your names from the registrar, from the freaking, Felons and Firearms Act. Everybody who has a felony on their record and everyone who has a firearm. All of us are the new targets. You're welcome. By the way, I wasn't giving that away. That's something that they gave away. It's irritating to say the least. To think that our Second Amendment is incumbent upon some dickweed in a freaking blonde suit in the middle of a building 2,000 miles away from you. Or 200 miles away, or 50 miles away, or what have you. Considering Virginia. Sorry, y'all, but you voted him in. Notice how I did that there. You voted him in. We know you didn't vote him in. Hello? Californian here. I know for a fact y'all didn't vote him in. For a fucking fact. Absolute 100% concrete fact. You did not vote that man in. Or woman, or whatever. Gun owners are incredibly against somebody touting emotional law. And when I say emotional law, that means emotionally driven legislation. Like the Children and Firearms Act of the 1970s that made people put trigger locks on their firearms. Y'all remember that? I wasn't born yet, so you know. Maybe somebody out there does. Put it down in the commentators. All right, hey, put it down in the commentator section, because you are a tater that I want to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is if you have a memory of this, then you know it doesn't do good at all. It doesn't do shit to go and make laws. All it does is cover a politician's ass so that they can go and turn around and tear you a new one. It does nothing for you. In fact, it takes away your rights. It says it's delineating that right to a government power. This is why I keep on saying you need to be a Minuteman. You need to stand up. Now, why do I say that? Why am I so vehement on being proud of who you are as an American? You know, being a natural-born American. If you're one of these limp-wristed liberals, well, we can toughen you up. We can do that. If you want to come over, and we'll toughen you up. But seriously, I can't understand for the life of me why somebody who is incapable of defending themselves against somebody who might be slightly larger, or has a larger attitude, Sorry, folks. My phone's acting up. Yeah, you might have a larger attitude. You're not going to have anything against that guy. Trust me. I know. And believe it or don't, I ain't no pansy. I ain't no pushover. I ain't no pussy. I'll fight a man hands on. No problem. But motherfucker, if you try to cheap shot me, you'd better expect you're going to end up getting hurt. Real bad. Not just, half pace for me, which is an ass whooping for most. No, I'll let the animal out then. Honest to God, I will. And I do. It's because I believe in fairness. Now, you might say, well, nobody's going to be fair in a fight. Actually, they are. If you're fighting because you got differences, not because you want to kill each other, but because you got differences, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to say, all right, I had enough. Or they're going to be, going in for a dental checkup. But one of two. And that's the point. When it comes down to, differences and you got to take it outside or something, it's very simple. Cheap shots will get your ass kicked. I don't give a shit who you are. If you think you're hard fucking snot, tell you what. You go take on a mixed martial artist or a badass or something or a military guy. Take a cheap shot. Go ahead. Watch how quickly your ass gets fucking head turtled into the fucking sand. The reality of the situation is, it's attitude. That is what being armed is. It's all right here. It's all right here. It's attitude. And the attitude that you have is the difference between being an angry asshole, a retard who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and being armed. You've got to be right in the middle of that. Smart enough to know that you're not being a retard who doesn't know what they're talking about, and cool-headed enough to know that you're not going to fly off the handle just because of fucking something that someone says. See, it's important. It's very important. Having a specific demeanor is what makes you armed. Saying, well, I'd fucking kick their ass. No, you wouldn't. You would end up as fucking mopped smear on the floor. Plain and simple. Oh, well, I'd just shoot him. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I can tell you that from experience. No, you fucking wouldn't. As a matter of fact, you'd probably end up getting shot because you said you would shoot them. The simple fact of the matter is, if you're going to say something, you're probably not going to do it. And if you are going to do it, then you've already given somebody prior warning. Military mind. That's what we work on here, is a military mindset, not a warrior mindset, a military mindset, which is precision, perfection, and foresight for strategy. So, take that into account here. Well, the military mindset, what is the most effective method for defending yourself against, say, a home invader or something? Yeah, you want Alex Trebek music? Here you go. Okay, you're done. Now, by the way, you can't say I copyrighted that or copied that because didn't finish the song, and yes, I know. By the way, so that we're clear and everything's right, happy, and good to go, the most effective method for defending your home against, say, an armed robber or a burglar or a home invader is a pissed off American. And if you don't get pissed off, you're going to get pissed on. And it's that simple. Use it metaphorically. Go ahead. If you don't get pissed off, you're going to get pissed on. Make sure that motherfucker can't crawl out the fucking front door. Plain and simple. Whether that's by smashing their head into the fucking floor or turning around and utilizing a firearm effectively because you keep one loaded regardless of the fucking laws. Because you know how to defend yourself in a courtroom. Hey, the Second Amendment is my certification. And God is my instructor, motherfucker, so you back the fuck off. Oh, and I'm not going to listen to the fucking bullshit of God doesn't fucking exist in this one. Just not putting up with it. Seriously. You know, when it comes down to it, God, you say, oh, well, God doesn't exist. TF-fucking-B, motherfucker. Too fucking bad. Because the reality is, I believe in God. Do I believe that he's the one that makes the stars spin around the galaxy? No. Do I believe that he's the one that fucking started the Big Bang? After a fashion. After a fashion. Meaning that it just, when he decided it was going to happen, it happened. Imagine that. An entity that actually just makes a decision and then it does. It happens. Sheer fucking force of will. Anyways, so that's a God-given right. And I don't give a fuck about your beliefs because that's my beliefs and I have a right to my beliefs. Because I'm willing to defend them, motherfuckers. You got a problem with that? There's a door. The fuck on out. Don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out and don't come back for seconds. As it stands, as it stands, there is an idiot thinking that by deputizing folks in what have you county, whatever, where he's the sheriff at, that's going to negate the legislation. No, sheriff. What's going to negate the legislation is you not fucking enforcing it. Plain and simple. You don't enforce it, you turn around and you deny it as a direct infraction to the oath which you swore. Now say that they go and they make it a constitutional act or amendment thereof. Well, amendments cannot be amended. That's the upside here, okay? An amendment can only be amended by a full House of Congress, which is never going to happen, hopefully. And at least 2/3 of the entirety of the Supreme Court Judicial Board, meaning that the Judicial Board says that this is okay, we can pass this law, because it does not negate or infringe upon previously existing laws which were put in place for good reason and are part of the foundation of our government. Now, why would they take such a drastic line, against something like the Second Amendment? Because we put a stink up. But we didn't really put up a fight. We put up a stink because, when somebody says, you don't need guns, we go, Well, you don't need to breathe, but here you are fucking fogging up the screen, asshole. You know, it's one of those things. You got to question, where are these fucktards' heads at? And when I say a fucktard, I mean, dude, you are intentionally stupid. Now, that's a hard thing to do even for me. All right? And I'm saying that because I do anything I do, I intend. All right? I intend to do stupid shit every now and then because it keeps me sane. But if, you know, you intend to do stupid on a regular fucking basis, you are intentionally stupid. So, and this is a regular basis situation. The Second Amendment is not negotiable. It doesn't say only when you feel like it. It says shall not be infringed. You see, my feelings, or my rights, don't stop where your feelings start. And if you know where that reference comes from, then you are a cool motherfucker. And you watch the same videos I do, or you happen to be the owner of that channel. As it stands, I really ain't got any more time to sit here and tell you all about this, but the situation is pretty dire. We need to be making a hell of a lot more stink, or we need to be doing a show of force. Not necessarily an action of force, mind you, because an action of force denotes actual bloodshed. We're just trying to get people to think. Okay? Not trying to kill anybody, not trying to get you to go and do something stupid, just trying to get people to think. What are you advocating for? What just happened in 2016 that almost ended in an outright fucking revolution? Until that bill was cast down precisely by the sitting president now. That bill would have passed had there been another Democratic president, and the Second Amendment would have been negated. It would have been null and void. We the people have a long, long memory. Think about it. We were this close to dragging every single one of them fucking politicians out on the street as a nation and stringing them up by their ties. This is where we're headed. And it's a repetitive action. Every time that you step back from this, there is always going to be that equal and opposite reaction of the liberals stepping forward and stepping on your toes. You have to be a constant force. Constant vigilance is tantamount to perfection of peace. Se vis pacem, para bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. Well, that's all the time I got. You taters have a nice day. Leave me your thoughts down in the commentator section. Like, share, and subscribe. Share with all your buddies, all your friends, and all your family. Definitely get out there and make a buzz, because we definitely need to make a freaking stink. We need to be the ones who are showing up. And, you know, reality is, it's going to be mostly felons that do this. Because why? Because nobody else has got the freaking guts. Nobody has dropped a set of brass balls big enough to be able to stand up there and say, fuck you, and the horse you rode in on, and just for good measure, the mare that sired it. The mare and sire to it. Sorry. Just for good measure. Because there's something wrong with you people. And when I say you people, I mean you liberal fucks. Going around and saying, we need more gun control. No, we need stupid control, and you're at the brunt of it.